Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'm going to be breaking down our next matchup for UFC Rio. In this one, we have Jhonata Diniz taking on Mario Pinto. Diniz is 9-1 as a professional, 4-1 in his last five fights, while Pinto is 10-0 as a professional, so he's 5-0 in his last five fights. Looking at their last few fights, Diniz is currently 3-1 in the UFC. He won his first two fights, knocking out Austin Lane, and then winning a decision against Carlos Williams in a fight where he fought one of his worst stylistic matchup, Diniz, in a wrestler, and he looked pretty good doing it, honestly. Defended a lot of takedowns, picked apart Williams at the feet. When he did get taken down, he didn't suffer too much ground and pound. All in all, I thought it was a great performance. Then he loses his first fight in MMA when he gets TKO'd by Marcin Tybura at UFC 309, where, it's just Tybura used that veteran savvy to survive some early adversity, come back, and then use superior ground game. And then most recently, Diniz won his comeback fight against Alvin Hines at UFC 317, where, granted, it was a little surprising he wasn't able to knock out Hines, but at the same time, it turns out Hines got popped. So, is what it is. As for Mario Pinto, he actually made his UFC debut in March, wherein he also knocked out Austin Lane in what I think was a bit more of a brutal fashion, if you want my opinion. Man, I gotta say, this is actually a very interesting heavyweight fight for me, because both of these guys I can see being ranked not too far into the future. Like, I can see these two getting ranked in about a year or two. I honestly think this is a good fight to watch, just because like I said, like 2 or 3 or a year or two, I honestly see these both guys being ranked. I do believe they are actually very skilled heavyweights, mostly in the striking department, not so much in the grappling. For Diniz, we've seen he has some wrestling deficiencies. He's definitely improved his takedown defense for sure. Against, like I said, Williams, who was a good wrestler. Marcin Tybura, he had his moments in takedown defense, even hurt Tybura. It's just he fought, easily his most veteran opponent in his whole MMA career. Certainly most fights he's ever, an opponent with the most fights he's ever had. It's just simply a veteran lesson. And you saw Diniz, got better with it. As for Pinto, it's hard to say exactly where he's going to go, but I do believe he's going to go far. The thing is, he's not fought any real level of competition, not like who Diniz has fought. Now, I know you can say, well, who's Diniz fought, right? Austin Lane, not in the UFC. Williams, not in the UFC. Hines got popped. Probably not even in the UFC anymore. Fair enough. But those three guys at least have two of those three have much more MMA experience and also UFC experience than any of Pinto's fights. I mean, besides Lane, where they share an opponent in that. Ironically, they both had the same debuting opponent. Go figure. Looking at their skill sets, Diniz does come from a kickboxing background, and it's kind of interesting. He does not like the one-shot hitter you would imagine with a heavyweight kickboxer. I'm not going to say it's like a cumulative damage, but it's more so accuracy is what I want to describe his strike. He's got good calf kicks, a good 1-2, nice left hook. Everything he throws is much more of a precision than just flailing his arms like most typical heavyweight strikers. Unless you go like to the top 7 of the top 15. Then it's like other actually really good strikers. But like I said, for Diniz, I really like how he approaches his striking. His technical kickboxing is honestly very much a treat to watch in a division where it's attributes more than technique you see, and his technique in striking is very good. But at the same time, Mario Pinto, so far, is a really good striker. He also has I take that back. While I think Diniz has more composure in the striking, and overall, I think a better sense of timing with his strikes, Pinto himself has really good accuracy, and I think hits a little harder. You saw the Austin Lane fight. He had a bit of a rough going in the first round. Austin Lane had his moments, but eventually Pinto was able to line up that right hand of his and just crack Lane in the jaw, and it was over in literally like the beginning of the second round. Overall, these two have very good high-level striking, and both are very good at timing, whether it be like, I don't know, left hook for Diniz, right cross for Pinto. They have some other striking arsenals to their game, but they fight very similarly. Technical approach. They don't swing for the bleachers. They genuinely just pick their opponents apart, wait for their timing, and then crack when they see that opening. It's very rare you see it at heavyweight. And seeing both these guys who are not ranked, who are more or less prospects in the MMA scene, is very much an interesting thing to watch. Odds-wise, too, I mean, it's kind of a pick 'em. Pinto is the slight favorite at minus 125. Diniz is a plus 110. I get it. Is pretty much a pick 'em for me because I can see these two having a technical kickboxing match for a majority of the fight. And then, it's heavyweight. One wrong mistake and it's lights out. But I think Pinto is going to be the harder shot for shot striker. Now, Diniz, I think on a technical level is a bit superior given his background. And I think he, in general, has more weapons on the feet. But, I'm not going to knock Pinto off on the striking. He's a really good striker in his own right. I don't know if either of these two were really going to grapple. There's not really their style to use wrestling. So I think this will mostly be contested on the feet. And then you have two strikers of their caliber who are almost neck and neck, but one guy is a bit more technically superior. Sometimes it really does come down to some of the attributes these two have and who might have that edge in like that reach or height. In the height, Pinto is an inch taller at 6'5" to Diniz's 6'4", but Diniz beats him at reach by literally 0.5 inches, 79.5 to the 79-inch reach of Pinto. Literally, it's a game of inches in this fight. And it might come down to those 0.5 inches of reach advantage. Who knows? That's what I actually really enjoy about this fight because it really does feel like a game of inches. Very rare for a heavyweight fight where you think maybe whoever makes that little mistake and it's over. Usually in a typical heavyweight fight, it's, okay, can this guy take him down? And then at that point, the guy's not going to get up. Most heavyweights don't have that ability. Or is he going to land that haymaker? With this one, I really feel like it's, man, who is more technical on the feet? Who's going to make their reads better? Who has not only the fight-ending power, but the proper setup to use it? And it's a close one, and I have been drawing back and forth because it's a really close fight for me. I'm going to lean towards Mario Pinto. I think with them being nearly neck and neck, Diniz being slightly better on the feet, I do believe. I think the power of Pinto is going to help him in this. I think the height is going to help him. And while he may be at a disadvantage slightly on the reach, he does use his own reach very well. So I think just a slight edge, I got to go Mario Pinto. And I think he can get the knockout in this one. But with that being said, that's been my breakdown of this matchup. If you liked the video, comment and subscribe. What are your overall thoughts on this? Because I generally think this is an interesting heavyweight matchup, but only time will tell, and we'll see once they get into that cage. But what do you think of this one? Next up, we'll have our featured fight, Vicente Luque taking on Yoel Alvarez. My favorite fight on the card. I'm excited to talk about that one. But until then, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. Thank you all for listening. Take care.